Everybody, I am 9 First Warning meteorologist Brandon Spinner here with a weather update. Chief Meteorologist Steve Raleigh here as you're watching on Facebook and on YouTube on this live stream. Wanted to give you an update on what we're seeing out there as we're moving across the tri-state this afternoon. Popping up the weather graphics and let's go break it down. As far as what we're seeing is out towards our west, we're looking at some clearing, especially as you get out towards the south and west of Cincinnati. You're seeing that clearing. That is not the best news that we've seen all day today, because what that's doing is helping to charge up the atmosphere. We're seeing those clear skies to the south and the west, and what that's going to do is build a lot more energy, which we're already starting to see. You may have heard us talk about CAPE or shear. There's a lot of it down there, and the big thing is that's starting to warm up energy-wise in the atmosphere as well. And look just to the west, out towards Evansville. Already some thunderstorms developing, which are severe in some locations. All they're going to do is just move right into this same area. The big deal is that we're starting to dry up here in Cincinnati and areas to the west. As we go through the next few hours, we're going to have to watch specifically this area from Louisville to Georgetown and just to the south and west of Cincinnati. By about 4 o'clock, expect to see these thunderstorms develop, and as they do, they will be moving north-northeast very rapidly. Some of the storms we've seen so far today have been closer to 60 to 65 miles per hour for the pacing on them, and that doesn't even include the winds that they could provide later on into the evening. So as we move forward, want you to know that we are in a moderate risk for severe weather. If you look to the top right of the graphic, you see moderate is one step below high. That's threat level 4 out of 5. When it comes to this, the city of Cincinnati has not seen this since 2018, and we've only had 5 other occurrences outside of today since the year of 2014. So in the last 10 years, this is the 6th time that this has happened. Very, very rare when it comes to severe weather around here as of late. So that's something to keep an eye on. Regarding the severe weather threats out there today, the big impacts are going to be wind and hail, tornadoes included as well. And when I talk about the potential that this could be significant severe weather, significant storms would include hailstones up to the size of 2 inches or greater. Significant wind is expecting wind gusts of 75 miles per hour or greater. And when we talk about significant tornadoes, that is looking at the potential for a tornado to be an EF2 or greater. So all of those threats are right here in the tri-state, including everyone from southeast Indiana, southwest Ohio, and into northern Kentucky. The thing about that is if we do see tornadic activity, there's an increased chance that these are intense as well as long track. Long track meaning on the ground for 15 to 20 miles, if not longer. We'll have to watch how that develops. But while you're looking out your window right now saying these guys don't know what they're talking about, that sunshine is charging up our atmosphere to deliver stronger storms later on into the afternoon. Let's take a look at future view. As we progress through the afternoon, we've seen that clearing. Now look to the south and west. This is that start as these storms start to blossom and fire up. As that line develops closer towards that 5, 6, 7 o'clock time frame, we start to see it become more linear. When we say linear, it's more of a straight line, but there will be some notches, some line breaks, and it's along these line breaks where we could have better rotation. Let's break down the timing of this as well on a better graphic for you going forward. That timeline will be showing you that by 5 to about 8 o'clock for southeast Indiana, we expect to see some stronger storms develop. As you get closer to Florence, Dry Ridge, Owenton, those of you in northern Kentucky, 6 to 9 o'clock, but it could very well be an hour sooner depending on the pacing of the storm development out towards Louisville. This will continue to race to the east-northeast, and then as we get towards southwest Ohio, we're looking at 7 to 10 o'clock. Now I mentioned the threat for some larger hail. Here's a comparison on what you could expect in some spots. When we say 2 inches, that's bigger than the size of a golf ball. Just under the size of a tennis ball. Think about a hen egg, about 2 inches in diameter, which you would buy at the grocery store. Yesterday, we had some reports radar-wise that we had near 3 inches of hail. That's close to the size of a baseball. That is possible today. Will it happen? We'll have to watch how that atmosphere develops over the next few hours. On top of all of that, We're watching heavy rainfall on top of it after what some spots have already seen 1 to 2 inches of rain over the last 24 hours, and we could potentially see additional rainfall. And because of that, we do have a flood watch through 8 o'clock tonight. I do want to run through Future View one more time for you. Here's a look as we go through the next couple of hours. This is the latest run from what we call the high resolution rapid refresh. So this is one of those rapidly updating computer models. This shows these cells starting to blossom and push into southeast Indiana closer to 5 o'clock, and then pushing towards the downtown Cincinnati metro 5:30, 6 o'clock. And these cells, which you're starting to see, when it pops up and you're seeing this purple and this pink action that I'm circling, those are supercells. Those are the storms that have the greater potential to develop large hail as well as possibly a tornado. As those continue, we will have to keep an eye on those as they move to the north and east, because they'll be moving into undisturbed atmosphere, which would be very energetic. And we continue to see how these blossom. If you look out towards Warren County, that purple now becomes black. That would mean an intense thunderstorm according to this computer model. Now again, this is one computer model. This is not what's likely to happen. It's just showing you the potential. That radar beam could be, or that radar image could be a little further south, a little further west, a little further north. That's what we'll have to watch. Once it develops, we'll have a much better idea on where these will go. As we get closer to 6, 7 o'clock, there's that linear structure that I was mentioning. That becomes more of a straight line wind event. But it's areas like this out towards Dry Ridge or towards Westchester where we start to see the breaks that create spin, which could create better rotation for thunderstorms to develop a possible tornado. Those are areas we'll have to watch, as well as any areas that start to notch out similar to this radar formation to the east of Cincinnati, because that would also show some greater rotation. Different areas of this storm will be severe, and some areas could have that potential for 70 to 75 mile per hour wind gusts. And to put that in layman's terms, Category 1 hurricane, the lowest level is 74 miles per hour. So our strongest wind gusts could be close to that of a hurricane later this afternoon. As we go on into the evening, the cold front will come through, and that'll shut down our severe weather threat. Biggest important thing to talk about here. We've got nearly 2,000 people without power in the tri-state here as of 3 o'clock. The issue becomes, as we go through the evening, if we lose power, you're going to need multiple ways to find your weather warnings. We're going to be streaming live here on YouTube. We're going to be streaming on Facebook, and we're going to have more updates as the evening goes through. So as we go through the evening, make sure you have multiple ways to get a hold of us. We'll be on Instagram, Twitter, as well as on WCPO.com, where you can stream us, WCPO.com/live. Again, power outages out there. We're talking Highland County and Adams County, as well as parts of Kenton and Butler counties. Very small numbers for now, but this could grow into the thousands as we head on into the evening. And as we get towards that 7 to 8 o'clock time frame, what happens is we get towards that dark period where it's going to be a lot harder to see. So one more look at the wider view of radar. We zoom in on the map here and show the sun. It's already starting to shine. Actually, I want to throw up a couple of cameras to see what we're looking at out there. Yeah, there's some blue sky popping up on the east side of town as we take a look from our roof camera. Oh, that's not good news, folks. As you look towards downtown Cincinnati, crystal clear blue sky. And as I pop up Links 1, which Steve has there for you, there's a better look at some sunshine. Steve, you have any other thoughts?
No, I think you covered it well. The only other thing I'll mention is don't get trapped into the idea that, you know, this is not going to happen. There's a higher probability that it will. Is it a certainty? Sure, nothing is. But in this particular case, we're talking about the National Weather Service, Storm Prediction Center, and our own forecasting as well. You can't sit on a fence in this and say, well, it might not, it could, maybe. No, it looks like you need to prepare for this because that way you're ready. And let's all hope that it doesn't.
Great words right there from Steve. As we continue through the afternoon, again, I mentioned a few spots you can find us right here on YouTube. We'll continue this stream throughout coverage on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and of course, always at WCPO.com and on our streaming channels. I'm meteorologist Brandon Spinner for Chief Meteorologist Steve Raleigh. Thank you for watching on this Tuesday afternoon and evening. This is a 9-1 warning weather alert day as we continue to keep you up to date on the latest situation and the latest updates from us, as well as the Storm Prediction Center will chime in throughout the afternoon. And if we're not there, we'll be right on at WCPO News at 4 o'clock. So you can find us there as we go through. We return you back to that regular stream. We'll pop in and out throughout the rest of the afternoon. Stay safe and stay up to date.